What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Noted DX, your walking, talking flavor review show. I am Sam. Join me in welcoming the rest of the team tonight. Daniel, Tim, Linda. It's a full panel. What's up, everyone?
Hey,
Hey, evening.
how's it going?
It's a going.
It is.
And
How are you, Tamantha?
Samantha. It's going. It's been a week. I've had power outage issues like several times this week. I ordered battery backups for the computers and the modem.
Yeah,
Jesus,
you guys
French.
have got that big. Was that a real thing that I sent? Like, or is that just
Yeah, we did have a big storms system, and then we're getting supposed to get rain again tonight, so we'll see.
We should have gotten rain today. It was cloudy enough this morning. It was 55 degrees last night. I had to close all the windows and shit, turn off my fan because I got cold. And then at like noon, the sun came out and there was no rain. And yeah,
We got soaked
we're pushing a
multiple
month here.
times.
Things are dying. It's great. So against Odie's better judgment, we are doing recipe week tonight. Uh, uh, um, love you. Okay. Oh fuck! So we've gathered together a collection of recipes to go over based off of um, recent profiles that we've done on the show. Kind of just do a round robin thing here. Probably go on our standard rotation. Throw a recipe at the wall. I have four. I don't know about you guys. I have five. I could talk about.
Five.
I
So
have 4 or 5, I think.
then
I
there
have
might.
four, three of others, one of my own.
Yeah, that's fine. If we all have different recipes, sick. Sometimes we overlap, but
There's no way you have one of my
I,
recipes.
I know that's what I'm saying. Like if we
Well,
overlap, that's
two.
definitely interesting. We had a lot to choose from, a lot of different flavors. Sorry, I'm playing with my face a bunch here. It's fucking. We could have done whiskeys, currants, beginner florals. Which
Butterscotch.
covers a lot. Butterscotch. The bomb pop. Right, that was another one that we did.
I've got a little of
For
all of
the
those.
so
Yeah.
there's an assortment of flavors there.
I
So
went very basic and just wanted to showcase honeysuckle and hibiscus.
so before I get into that, please don't forget to check out the links that are being dropped in chat. The Reddit thread of the week is an important one. Make sure you read the beginning if you are unaware of how things go. Your chance at winning top commenter of the week, which we will do at the end of the show. That is the bit.ly link in chat. Don't forget to check out our Patreon if you're interested in donating $5-10 a month to us. We do appreciate that. We have a few people do that. It's not a lot, but we split it up every so often and get a bottle of VG or whatever. Oh shit. So thank you for those that do that. That's one way to help us. Other than that, yeah, I'm just gonna say code noted 15 and then just leave it at that. And then I'm not gonna say, y'all know what to do with that. Should we get into it? If that's it, right? Yeah. I think
Yes.
we're all good. I don't really have to lead anything else off. Daniel, what's your first recipe of the week, my man? And we're just gonna screen share these and then throw our faces on the side. That's the only way we can really do it.
All right. So the first one I'm just gonna get out of the way because uh, there's absolutely no way I can pronounce it. That's what I meant by there's no way y'all did this. So yeah, um yeah, I got this. Uh, I'm assuming I no, I'm
What?
not.
Um,
Someone, it's Tim backwards here. That's all I got. Tim backwards. Um, but yeah, this is that. So you can
this is
translate
that.
that
Yeah.
by Ilan. Anyways, this one is a weird one, but a good one. It's 555 gold innerwear at 3. Seven Leaves Ultimate FA at 1.5, Fig Fresh FA at 1.5, Hibiscus Cap at 1, Honeycomb VTA at 1, Mild Tobacco Favora Love It at 1, Nut Mix FA at 1, Red Burley Favora at 1, Soho Ho 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 FA at 4, and Super Sweet at 1. I actually did Super Sweet at 1, and it kind of needs it. It brings it kind of all together because it's kind of a mix of like sweet and savory of the nut mix, the mild tobacco, and then like Soho and 5.5 are way more sweet. But I really like what the hibiscus and the fig does here. Like they get overpowered. Like it's very obvious, but you can tell that they're adding like a syrupy kind of uh body to it. I get it like a hue of red from it. I don't get any distinctive hibiscus or fig out of it. I definitely get like a nice kind of nutty caramel or honeycomb-esque kind of mix. I get a lot of Soho out of it in the 5.5 because that's obviously the base at 7. But I was expecting the hibiscus and the fig really kind of show and like make the mix kind of awkward and weird, but it just looks weird on paper. I haven't had time to try it without. I'm sure it would be good without it, but I just think the combination of those two adds like a nice syrupy texture to everything, as well as it gives it more sweetness. Uh, and I really love that base. I've probably done it in a mix of FA, Soho, mild tobacco, and FA or 5.55. That trio is really delicious. I don't really like nut mix by itself. Here it's okay. Uh, uh, I don't. It just kind of adds the 5.55 and it exploits the nuts in 5.5, but it doesn't like show up like it does. Like it's nut mixing a single flavor test is not fun. But uh yeah, overall I really liked it. The burley, I get a little bit of it, but most of what I get is the mild tobacco and the 5.5 gold combo with the Soho. The burley kind of chills in the back. It doesn't really show up, and I didn't really notice the seven leaves, but I'm sure they all kind of just blend to make like a unique mix. Like you could mix all these tobacco flavors in different percentages and it would taste completely different, obviously, but you could make a completely different mix. But I enjoyed it. It's sweet with the 1%, but I think it needs it just because like without it, it might be a little bit kind of uh savory, too savory. But I liked it. I was good job, guy.
Yeah.
Elon.
Elon for
I liked it. I the cool thing about it is I didn't really let it steep. I let it steep only 3 days and then I tried it. And I guess I'm just crazy, but I usually that with tobaccos, I just let it the nicotine or whatever settle and then kind of
Obviously, Daniel searched this by name of the recipe. Yeah.
No, you know
yeah.
how I found this? So I wanted to find recipes that
Hibiscus.
show how useful hibiscus and honeysuckle, hibiscus by Capella and honeysuckle by TPA, how useful they are to people that don't think they would have any use. And this is like I saw this and I was like, what the why is this? Why is, when I was searching hibiscus flavors, I was like, why is this here? First I clicked on it because I didn't know. I was like, oh, that would be funny. And then I was like, oh, tobacco, bet. But then I was like, wait, where's the and I was like, wow. So then I tried it and I didn't think anything of it, but it's a delicious mix. I like it. It's a little, it's different. I think other people might notice the hibiscus a lot more, but I it it does it showcases why hibiscus is good, because like it does stuff in a mix without being taste. It's kind of like I guess cactus, stuff like that where it's an additive. Of course, this person could have bumped it up to like 2 or 3 and just made the whole mix like ruined, but it's pretty well balanced. But yeah, that's how I found it. And yeah, anyways,
Hey,
yeah,
your screen.
Different.
There you go.
I know. I was trying to find it. I was like, where the hell is that thing?
My God.
So go ahead, Linda. What did
So
you?
I I just wanted to say,
Uh-huh.
there's not a lot of like actual tobacco in that. Like mild tobacco has a little bit, but it's really caramely. And then Seven Leaves is like just more like it's like a cigar wrap, like a leafy
Yeah.
tobacco wrapping. But yeah, anyways.
It
That looks
still
really
has the Cavendish in there and the mild tobacco, which
Oh, okay. I
they're
missed it.
they're
But
full on in my opinion. I mean, mild's a little sweeter, but I think the Cavendish gives it a little bit more of elitist base per se. But yeah, it's definitely like, 555 and Soho being in it. It's definitely more on the
super
sweeter.
nutty.
Yeah,
Super
but
nutty,
the
super
the nut
caramely.
mix in there kind of brings the sweetness a little bit down, but adds
Okay.
more nuts. So it's pretty I wouldn't say it's like it's my kind of tobacco, but it's
Yeah.
not like a purest tobacco and it's not a pure sweet tobacco as well. It's
Yeah.
kind of like in the middle. Ooh.
Right on.
But go ahead, Miss Custard.
Okay. If I can remember how to do this.
You click buttons until it works.
Sh- Uh, all right, hang on. Geez, I can't see. All right, I'll do this one first. Hang on.
Who's
So
this
I-
guy?
So butterscotch orange custard B3 by Fidalgo Vapes.
Ew.
So I had the opportunity
Oh,
to test
you son of a bitch.
a couple of these with him. I mixed them and kind of gave my opinion. This is the final. So bakery orange SSA at 0.5%, butterscotch medicine flower at 0.6%, butterscotch natural flavor west at 3%, graham cracker flavor west at 0.5%, Italian cream Hankson at 0.5%, vanilla custard 2 TPA at 3%, and whipped cream FA at 1.5%. This is really good. The final, there was a couple more that were a little bit different. So it's really good. I've never single flavor tested bakery orange, but by the smell, I wasn't sure what to expect with this, and it's not overpowering. It's just a hint. It's a butterscotch custard. A creamy butterscotch custard with just that twang of bakery orange on the end. Like I said, it's not overpowering. It's really pleasant to vape. That orange just gives it's just supposed to be, let me read. After noted butterscotch, I was reminded how good medicine flower butterscotch was. I wanted to use it, but didn't want the usual pairings I found. So this is the picture. I found this online. I just and was super excited to try it out. The orange is an accent with the butterscotch cream custard being the star. I added graham to give the recipe a bit more separation, like another element. So there was a definite layer between the orange and the butterscotch, and that's exactly what it does compared to the one before this. One of them had Wonder Flavors orange cream, and it was just kind of like too much orange, not just an accent. This is really, really enjoyable. And this one I made a larger bottle than the other ones. And yeah, really, really just nice. The Italian cream just gives it, that's nice and thick. The vanilla custard too. And of course the whipped cream gives it that nice, smooth, like silky. And the graham cracker really does give it that little bit of separation between the bakery orange and the butterscotch and the vanilla custard. So this one was very enjoyable, and I was very happy that I got to test them out as he was going along and just give my little opinion. And yeah, so very good, Fiddy. Thank you for including me in that one. Very good. Very, very good.
All right, Tim.
Okay. Start off with this here. We got butterscotch custard crumble. And it's a butterscotch cream pie at 2%. Crumble topping, Wonder Flavors at 1. Custard premium FA at 2, and smoked butterscotch flavora. This is by Fee, by the way. So
He's
butterscotch
awesome.
cream pie, the one thing about it that's a little bit weak is the butterscotch on it, but it has a nice creamy texture to it. And then adding the crumble topping, like you said, with the graham, to kind of separate. This is actually really good, and there's no sweetener here added. Doesn't really need it, but if you have a sweet tooth, you could add it. Yeah, this is actually really tasty and simple recipe. I kind of like this. And smoked butterscotch flavora, just add it as an accent and to bump up the other butterscotch. That's the way I like to use it the best anyway. To me, this is like, this is delicious. And
That
I think
looks
for me,
really
my favorite.
good.
It is. It's
That
delicious.
looks really, really good.
Yeah,
He
he's a
did a
good mixer.
great job.
That needs 2% super
Yeah.
sweet and 5% ethyl maltol.
No,
Typically I'd use a 0.5%, but I did mix it the way she put together.
Yeah, half or 1% would be great with that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that actually, though, even without sweetener, it was a little bit more on the savory side more than usual, but I didn't mind at all. That was really good either way. That was delicious. Simple recipe, but I mean, it would deserve a shout out. I was like, yeah, that's a good one. This is only from December of last year. So I guess Sam.
All right. All right. All right. I'm gonna start on a bit of a sad note.
Yeah.
I picked one out of risk, knowing that this will be interesting. But anyway, I wanted to find something with a blackberry blossom, so I found this called Honeydew Blossom. It is says Flavorum Honeydew is the absolute best melon, and I read that and I was like, I don't know about that. So
well, it's 2019 though.
let's get into it. So it's Flavora Blackberry Blossom at 0.2, Flavora Honeydew at 1.5, Flavora Pear at 1, and Flavora Red Raspberry at 0.5. You gotta really like that really sharp green, rindy honeydew, but it is, I don't know, that was a little almost too sharp for me. That honeydew is strong. It's mostly honeydew. The blossom kind of gets lost, as does the raspberry and the pear. Like they all accent the honeydew interestingly, but very, very lightly. It's juicy. It's just, I don't know about that honeydew.
Can you zoom that in?
Yeah, how many days steep does it say? Because Favora honeydew needs a steep for me. It's very alcohol-y off the set.
It does say 1% or 1 day.
1 day? Okay.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
it does say if you like it strong, shake and vape it after a day, it mellows out. And I tried it
Yeah.
after like 3 days or something like that, and it's still very, very honeydewy. I would probably, if I remix this and tried it again with the same flavors, I
One.
would put the honeydew at 1.
Yeah.
And maybe push the red raspberry up a little bit in the blackberry blossom
0.75.
to make like 0.5%. I tested this at 2%. And
I don't think you could do that
so
though.
not in the
other
mix.
melons.
No, I think maybe even like 0.3, 0.4, and then red raspberry up, because the red raspberry, I mean, you want to kind of lean into that florality of that comes out from the red raspberry. Just is this the one that gets a little floral, or is it their other raspberry that gets a little floral? Do you guys remember?
I can't remember, but they're all kind of on the floral side.
Yeah. So,
Or wild.
that nice sweet, not that
Wait.
super bad. It's not super bad. This is a decent raspberry. But yeah, I would have maybe pushed those a little bit more. This person also might like their stuff a little bit smaller, or softer, or have stronger taste buds or whatever. But it is Jazzy Girl, by the way. So it's interesting. It's not my favorite melon. I like honeydew. TFA, is definitely the other side of the spectrum of this honeydew. And if I was going more like a wild melon or something, but it's just very sharp and very rindy. But like, I don't know.
Looks
Someone else.
different.
Let me see here. Yeah, it's very rindy. That's about it. So other than that, like the rest of that kind of just needs to be a little bit, changed to come out more. Anyways, you got another one, Daniel?
Oh crap. Yeah. Un momento.
I'll give that one a 6 out of 10.
All right. Speaking of
It's on the right track. It's not that bad.
melons, All right. So I got Suckle My Melons by Iggy Z. This one is cucumber cap at 0.5, hama melon, wonder flavors at 3, honeysuckle at TPA at 2, super sweet at 0.5, watermelon flavora at 3, and wild melon at 1. Did he write anything? WS23 to taste. I decided to leave it out of the posted recipe. Anything under 1% will not drastically affect the flavor. It's hot as hell, so I added my normal, 1% of WS23. I let it sit for a couple days, only like 2 days, to let it kind of settle. And this is delicious. I love when I mix wild melon, I usually don't use watermelon flavor, but I kind of might start doing that a little bit more. Hominy melon and Favora watermelon are kind of the base of it, but the wild melon adds kind of like a unique spin on it, as well as hominy melon is kind of weird to begin with. Um, I don't get much of the honeysuckle in here, but I think it adds some smoothness to it and rounds out the edges. The watermelon from Favora is pretty sharp. That's why it probably has that exclamation point. I don't know why. I don't care. Uh, but it's a little sharp for me. Sharp and harsh. So I think the honeysuckle kind of rounds it out. And then the cucumber adds some. I didn't get much out of it. I'm guessing it adds a little bit green rind or a little juiciness to it, but at 0.5, I didn't get much of it. Uh, but the rest of it was good. I really liked the blend of the trio of the watermelons, and it wasn't, sharp like it normally is. Almost like acidic sometimes watermelon flavor is. At 3%, it's nothing too crazy. Uh, I thought that was I had to go like back and be like, is that normal? But I enjoyed this. This was the I don't know how it is without WS23. I'm assuming the flavor, he says it doesn't affect the taste, but maybe it gets more, flavorful. But for me, it was nice cold melons. It should have been suck on my cold melons, but I guess that's not attractive. But yeah, I like this one too. This one was much better for the days that I've been through, whereas the tobacco one, I was like, man, I can't be, doing this and sweating. Like, that's just terrible. But yeah, good job to Iggy Z and also having things I can pronounce.
I feel like WS23 it really kind of does depend on the recipe, but
Yeah,
maybe you're used
sometimes
to
it
it a
just
little
is
bit.
ice,
Sometimes it just really can dull out and just kind of ice off a recipe. And especially if you're trying to pick one apart.
Yeah.
If
But
you know what the notes are already, then it's a little bit easier.
I enjoyed it.
But yeah, right on.
I like ice though,
Especially at
you
1%.
know. Also, by the way, I just Google
Also,
translated the old one. It's the thing that we couldn't pronounce.
yeah.
And it's not as fun. It's translated from Hebrew and it's tobacco, honey, figs. Not as cool as I thought, but whatever.
Quite literal. That's funny.
Yep.
All right, Linda, what you got?
All right. Um, I have Gentleman Jack custard recipes made simply by Shake and Vape 007. Acetylpyrazine at 0.25, brown sugar TPA at 0.25, butterscotch ripple flavor west at 1, graham cracker flavor west at 1.5, JD whiskey Mullenberry at 1.25, vanilla custard TPA at 4. Was I here for whiskey? I was not here for whiskey.
No.
My notes were, if this had a boozy note, it would be 100% Jack Daniels. But it did not have any boozy note really. And my notes say it would be good in a dessert recipe. And when I saw this, I'm like, oh my God, I have to make it. Really, and Yeah, he has his highlighting mulberry JD whiskey in the simple custard recipe, using the whiskey as an accent with its caramel bourbon booze notes. Then layered with the Flavor West Graham, butterscotch, and a touch of brown sugar. So good. It's just, it has that deep, like, butterscotch caramelly, and the graham cracker gives it that little bit of honey, and it kind of, and I think again it separates a little bit, like it layers the things, with the whiskey mixes well with the vanilla custard. It's just really good, dense, just really good. This really, I enjoyed it, and I didn't buy JD whiskey. It was given to me, so I've never mixed with it. I did test it. I just wasn't here for it for the episode. So yeah, this is really good. There's literally nothing wrong with this. It's really, really good. He makes really good recipes. I've made a few of his. Just a nice thick, that JD whiskey is very desserty, kind of syrupy. Yeah, this all works really well together. Yeah, I enjoyed this one as well. I actually made a kind of a bigger bottle of it because I just, it looks great. So if you have that and like that type, because there isn't like, you don't go, oh my God, this is whiskey. It's just kind of like Jack Daniels without the booze. So I'm not quite sure what whiskey actually is made of, but yeah. So it was kind of spot on to what my notes was the dessert, like a dessert that would go well with custards or bakeries.
I think we went on what a 20-minute tangent at the beginning of the episode on what
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Yeah.
You did. I didn't
Is
my
that,
notes-
is it like oaky or kind of like a smoky
N-
oaky barrel sort of
nope.
thing?
Nope. This is like a in the brown sugar just gives the butterscotch ripple, which is really low. But you're also getting like the kind of the honey notes from the graham cracker, getting a little bit of that graininess. It's really just like a, like a butterscotchy brown sugar, it all kind of, and the whiskey helps that too, because it's got those sweeter notes to it, like darker, sweeter notes. I think that's what my notes said. It was like it had a sweet, like, darkness to it. So yeah, no, there's no like, would you say malty, or
What do you mean by like boozy? Like
there's no like,
alcoholic? Like
yeah, like we like,
alcohol?
yeah,
Bite?
there's no like alcohol note to that. Like you wouldn't, I guess if you were like blind testing it and didn't know what it was, like you might think Jack Daniels, but if there was more of an alcohol boozy note, you would definitely go, oh yeah, that's like Jack Daniels, but since there isn't that, so it's like Jack Daniels without booze. It's just like a dark kind of syrupy. Do you not have that?
No, I don't have that one, but most of them are like that. It's kind of why I'm like,
Well, like TPA bourbon has that little bit of boozy note to me anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, that does have the best bite.
Yeah.
I get what you're
So
saying.
it's not like that. It's more, like I said, it's more
It's
like
just flat. It's
desserty.
more flat.
Yeah. But
More
it's got the
like,
flavor. It's really pretty saturated. Even at
I
one
mean,
of the,
you're obviously saying it tastes like Jack Daniels, so
yeah, it just doesn't
the
have,
flavors there. I get what you're saying.
yeah,
In a
it
way,
just
I
doesn't
might
have
have to
the,
just try it just to understand fully what you mean.
yeah, I guess I'm not, I mean, that's how I can, like, it tastes like Jack Daniels, but like a virgin Jack Daniels, like without the booze. It's very
Um,
desserty, very dark,
yeah.
very rather sweet, which goes great. It accents like the butterscotch ripple, and
Well, in a bakery, the alcohol note would cook off anyway, so that makes sense anyway.
yeah,
In the
yeah,
real
but
thing.
That's I mean,
yeah,
Yeah,
very
because the
well put
boozy note,
together.
that boozy bite doesn't come through when you make it a real bakery either.
I don't really
Yeah.
want to vape that boozy bite anyways necessarily. Like, I just want the flavor of bourbon.
Yeah, but this doesn't have like that flavor of bourbon or whiskey. It's like I said, it's like a dark, sweet, I guess it's kind of hard to describe, but I said it was perfect for a dessert because it
Okay.
didn't have that, you know, like Wayne
If you-
made a peach custard type thing with Saturn peach, and it had TPA Kentucky bourbon, and that kind of had that little bit of bite to it with the fruit in it. I forget what it was called. I think I made it for,
I've mixed peach with Flavora bourbon a bunch.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. What do you like? So like if you subbed it out for like Nom's whiskey cream,
No,
it'd be totally different.
I think it would be different. I think
Like,
that
I
has
mean,
more of a
obviously,
little, like the Noms doesn't have that much of a boozy bite, but this really doesn't have any. So it would change it
okay.
a bit.
Nom's is more of a whiskey and cream than this is more of a okay. I'd have to
It's
yeah,
more of a
okay.
syrupy. Yeah, it's just,
Okay.
yeah, I guess I'm having a hard time, but my notes are on ELR on it. But yeah, this is just really it's very nice. It's a very nice, it's different. I've never mixed with, this is my second time mixing with a booze. So but this was really enjoyable. And I mean it's only at 8.25%, you know. But yeah, I mean I guess he gets bourbon booze notes, but I do not. So but it's good. I enjoyed it.
All right. All right. Well, Tim, what you got, baby?
All right, so we got Cran Orange Bourbon Cocktail by Steve-O.
Oh my God,
This
I
came
mixed
out. I was talking about that cranberry orange. I used it, and then he went with this, which I like this rendition. I had to mix it up and try it. So use cranberry flavor at 0.4, cranberry cocktail, Wonder Flavors at 2, cranberry orange Perillum at 4, Kentucky bourbon TPA at 1. Like you said, Linda, that's one with the bite. Lemon lime soda, Wonder Flavors at 1.5, orange juice, Wonder Flavors at 1, and super sweet and cap at 0.5. This definitely reminds me of some kind of mixed drink you'd have like throughout the holidays we just had and such for summertime. It's got everything there. Everything's there. Even the little bit of bite we were just talking about, but not like overwhelming here. Obviously, it's dulled down by everything in it. And it's nice citrus cranberry and that flavor of cranberry in a cocktail work well together. That cranberry orange, if you haven't tried it, really nice way to transition it into the orange and the bourbon. Lemon lime soda just there to kind of, you would typically mix with some soda base in your real drink. So that makes perfect sense. A nice picture of like what you'd expect it to look like. Yeah.
Yeah.
He did that one for citrus flavors, but he went with the bourbon. It's like, oh, I gotta mix this and try it. It's pretty good. It's a really good drink cocktail for the summer. I like this quite a bit. Good job, Steve.
Yeah.
What about you,
that
Sam?
looks nice.
Yeah, mix that one too. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't. But riffing off of that, hold on. No, I'm gonna skip. Not riffing off of that yet. This one was actually personally requested by last week's top commenter of the week, Dutch Savage. He's noticed that I had said last week that I mixed Linda's, so we could go over Linda's as well when I get around to it. But she's got a recent Bomb Pop lemonade. But this is his Bomb Pop Mountain Dew, or his or her by Dutch Savage. I believe it's a he. Anyways, this year's Mountain Dew mystery flavor. It tastes just like Bomb Pops. Hope you're great. New flavor RGB popsicle blast is fantastic. Just had to try make it into a Mountain Dew type soda. So this is very easy. 0.75 cap super sweet. Flavora citrus soda at 1.5. Flavora RGB popsicle blast at 3. Flavora tart blast at 0.5%. 0.75 WS23 and then 2% fizzy sherbet. It's very straightforward to the point. The only, red, white, blue note that is in this comes from Flavora at 3%, and it's enough. I wouldn't Mountain Dew is like straight off Mountain Dew is very I don't think I've vaped anything that tastes exactly like Mountain Dew. Fizzy sherbet, citrus soda, definitely give it like a hard lemonade bite to it, like maybe a McDonald's Sprite or something like that. But Mountain Dew, not necessarily. Yeah, I think the trick is somehow working orange juice into it, because that's, I believe there's orange juice concentrate in Mountain Dew as well as it being lemon lime, but I never had luck with that either. But it is very good. It is sweet. It's, it's cold enough for me. It's the Tart Blast. I like what that's doing in there because it's just boosting that lemony, citrusy soda that's going on, and there's is plenty of that. It's not very distinct. Cherry, blue raspberry, lemonade. The lemonade is what sticks out the most, but that, red blue notes kind of are there riding the wave with it. So I found it quite enjoyable. It's very simple again to mix. And really good on a hot day. So thank you, Dutch Savage, for shouting that out to me. And yeah. Anybody else, if we do have a recipe week coming up and we tell you about it and you want something mixed up, send it to one of us. I probably have the most flavors, and I don't know, but if one of us will mix it, we will. So yeah, Danny boy.
Yeah, I saw it coming, so I did episodes on it, so we'd have fresh recipes.
I got
Right.
thunder
Smart.
going wild, so if I lose power, I lose power. I'll see y'all in a bit. But
Right.
yeah, so let me get it set up. All right, fun. So I did Golden Apricot by Mike G. Or maybe Mikey G. I don't know. But he did apricot SSA at 1.25, Bavarian cream TPA 3, caramel a cap at 1.8. Someone went over. And then golden kiwi Flavora at 1.75, and honeysuckle at 4, and super sweet at 0.5. He says very smooth and tasty right off the shake. Delicious, I must say. If you mix this, you won't be sorry. And he was right. I enjoyed it. It's a very creamy, apricot-y. Apricot is mostly what I get out of it. The golden kiwi, I know it's doing work there because golden kiwi is going to be a legendary flavor. But I don't taste it. It just kind of, I think, adds more juiciness and depth to it. The honeysuckle at 4, it kind of blends with the Bavarian cream for me. So it's like a nice creamy apricot. The caramel kind of turns it. It reminds me of like a caramel apple, but a caramel apricot. And yeah, it was just very simple but delicious, creamy. It light but not light in flavor, but like the texture per se that you get from it. It's very very light on the palate. Like you can easily all day vape it and it doesn't get repetitive. I actually vaped it all yesterday on my off day. I can't remember what I made. I think I made 30s for all of them, and I did a couple of pulls on the pod. I did all these both on pods throughout the day just to kind of fully give a test uh and proper chance while I was at work. I mean, no, I wasn't at work. And then at home, I tried it on the mod. So I had them in different variable wattages and devices. And this one really impressed me in the X-Rose. I was expecting it to just kind of taste completely different than on the mod, because the mod you get it very well balanced and kind of get all, well blended. And it transcends into the X-Rose as well. It was very like little differences, like of course there was more flavor in the mod, but it was delicious in the X-Rose. But yeah, Golden Apricot by Mikey G or Mike G. I think he watches the show sometime. I don't know. We have so many mics. I can't keep track. There's too many of y'all mics. Too many mics. But
Too many
anyway,
Daves.
too many. Yeah, there's a lot of Daves
Way
too.
too many Daves.
Too many Sams.
Dave, nah, man, there's no Dave
Not
here.
There's like one Sam.
It's funny you said that.
That's great.
How did you have that ready?
Yeah, so right.
I don't know. I think Sam read it in the top thing, didn't even notice it in his head.
No,
Something. I don't know.
that's so
Dave,
funny.
man. No, man, Dave's not here.
It's too many days. All right, Linda.
Okay. All right. I can't see. Cinnabon crumb cake by Straight Bacon. This is good. Just disclaimer, I used my rich cinnamon dilution 10% because it's strong to me. So this is okay, there's no
Did you mix it at 1.5% then? Or
no, I actually
0.2? Wait.
no, I made a 25 mil. I don't know what it ended up being. Don't do that to me. I did it at 0.20. It's really strong to me. So
Of a dilution at 0.20.
no, my dilution is 10%.
Yeah, so you did 0.20 of your diluted rich cinnamon.
Yes. Yep.
You
So-
did 0.02.
So caramel flavora at 0.30, frosting flavora at 0.80, pound cake flavora at 1.40, my rich cinnamon dilution at 0.20, sweetness flavora at 0.5, and vanilla pudding flavora at 1.5. This is actually kind of similar to what I did for the ELR comp, the last one, the flavora one. So the pound cake obviously being the bakery. And I'm assuming the caramel is for like the brown sugar type, frosting for like the glaze, the cinnamon. This is actually quite similar. And then I use the vanilla pudding to kind of like pull it all together and blend it, and it just comes out so nice. It's good. I don't know if he was going for like an under 5%. I probably would have liked to have seen a little bit more pound cake. Because it kind of, it's there. I just would want maybe a little more, but it's really good, enjoyable. It's just like a brown sugar cinnamon with cake. And it's kind of with the frosting and the vanilla pudding kind of makes a creamier like glaze. I'm assuming that's what he was going for here. I think he's in chat, so he can tell me if that's what he was going for. The cinnamon for me at 0.15, like that would have been, I think, a little bit too much for me. So I just wanted that disclaimer. So I just maybe would have wanted a little more. Actually, I think, my God, I can't think of it. Their cinnamon roll would have been actually worked with the pound cake at 1.40 and maybe some cinnamon roll. But yeah, very enjoyable. And I'm just going off like what I made. That's what I did with the caramel for the brown sugar, the frosting and the vanilla pudding for the glaze, little bit of sweetness, a little bit of vanilla. Yeah, very enjoyable. Yeah. Yeah, and someone said instead of rich cinnamon crunch, but I feel like the rich cinnamon, oh yeah, or cinnamon roll. I feel like Flavora cinnamon crunch wouldn't have really worked here. I think the pound cake worked good. And it's very enjoyable. Yeah. Good job. I like it.
Y'all rich cinnamon babies are ridiculous.
Yeah.
I actually push it quite a bit for Frank's. The
I like
recipe
it
I made for Frank. It was delicious.
1/4 to 0.5% all day for me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine, but man, God, I've never mixed a dilution with. I have like one thing that I mix into a dilution. It was FA honey, but yeah, God, I can't even imagine using it that low. I don't think I'd taste it, but I guess yeah, that's one of those flavors. It's totally. Some people are real sensitive to it. So
Nothing you can do about it.
nope, other than give you shit. All right, Tim.
So I made a punches at the party by Echo Dub. Echo Dub does some weird stuff. This is one of his more normal kind of recipes, actually. If you've watched him lately, he's made some really interesting crap. And this isn't quite normal, but it's still not bad. It's kind of normal. So he's got bitters VSO at 0.3, blood orange VSO at 2, brandy FA at 0.3, Buddha's hand citron VSO at 0.3, grapefruit from Wonder Flavors at 1, Kentucky bourbon TPA at 2, sour VSO at 0.25, and super sweet cap at 0.3. And this is like that bourbon shines here a little bit more than it did in the other one. Like these, it's bright, just really bright floral like flavor with a little bit of texture from Buddha's hand. It actually does give you a little bit. And then just that kick of bourbon, because you get that little bite in this one. More normal. More than the other one did, the last one. But yeah, the bourbons, I mean, this is the one that if you want to add to the bite to it, it's one of the Kentucky bourbons do the best, I think. The TPA bourbons. We talked about that on the other show. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, why? What's because the FA brandy is a nice boozy.
Yeah,
brandy.
it is. That actually is helping, but the Kentucky bourbon's shining over it.
I believe it. Yeah, I believe at
Yeah.
0.3 or whatever that's at.
Right. Yeah,
That
it's
it's
I mean, it's
just
helping. I'm sure
lifting
it's
up
helping the
Kentucky.
darkness there, because that's what you're getting is this bright citrus, but it's like more forward on the bourbon side.
It's also
and
like
that FA brandy's helping.
also like nondescript, like fruity, like a brandy, and it is so that bridging into the other, the old fashioned notes, the grapefruit, bitters, orange,
And the sour.
looks
Yep.
very, very delicious, very well.
It was quite tasty. I only made a 10 to test it, and I should have made a bigger one because I actually found I was
Yeah.
actually enjoying it more than I expected to.
You probably shake and vape that too, or give that a day.
It was good
fine,
right
yeah.
away, and then it didn't last a long time like I planned on it. It didn't get a real good long.
I
don't
like
know if it has
that.
a steep time here, but it didn't last very long, so I didn't.
Is that grapefruit new, or is the grapefruit gummy the one that's the only new
Grapefruit
one?
gummy or whatever
Grapefruit
is new.
is
Yeah, it's been
Grapefruit's
around.
not- Okay.
That's been
no
around.
grapefruit's new.
I thought are they both new?
I don't think the regular grapefruit's new.
Both are new. No,
Grapefruit gummy for
grapefruit's
sure.
new because you guys don't like it as much as me, right? Yeah.
I thought that was the gummy.
No,
No,
you're right.
the gummy
Nope,
I
they're
don't
both
like
new.
at all.
They're both new. They're both
They are?
right here on my new shelf. Grapefruit is sitting.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't trust your new shelf. Okay, I'm gonna go.
I don't either at the
verify
last
with
week because I know that
bolts.
one that you said last week was new was not new.
Oh,
That
yeah,
was like
everybody-
from years
yeah.
ago.
I found my sugar orchid.
Yeah, I don't
and it
trust
was,
you.
It was mixed up with all the new flavor. Anyways,
Yeah, that is definitely not
right
new
next
flavor.
to sugar cane. Okay. And it's-
Flavors by
But you know, you're
Grape.
right. That's true.
Wonder.
But I believe you're right. I believe grapefruit and grapefruit gummy came out.
I am
and because
verifying.
there were two grapefruits. I remember that one of them was a lot more funky than the other one
Guys,
was.
get these naturals out of here.
So, yeah, same release.
Oh, Alaskan berries.
Steve O, thank you. He already confirmed it. So, all right, Tim, go.
It's actually you.
Oh, you already. It's my turn. All right, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's new.
Sam,
No,
go.
Sam, go.
Go,
What am I
Sam,
doing?
go.
Go, Sammy, go.
Boom! I mixed this recipe called Blitz by Alfred Pudding.
Oh, Alfred.
I really wanted to. I was like, what do I do? Blackberry Blossom was one that I wanted to try and hit. The other one was Pink Panther. So I found a couple recipes here with Pink Panther. This is mostly an ID10T review of his first version, and then him saying that he pushed it up to be as loud as he could make it without ruining the recipe. So let's go over it. It's Flavora Yakima hops at 2%. Flavor was Green Goblin Energy at 8%. Inawera Dragon Fruit at 1.5%. Inawera
You.
Panther at 0.6. WS23 at 1, and then Fizzy Sherbet Vape Train at 4. So I saw this, and I saw the Green Goblin Yakima hops, and I was like, sold. I have to mix this. The WS23 is one where I feel like I'm losing notes because of it. I don't get a lot of as much hops as I want. I also think that could be due to the Green Goblin being up so high. But he said in his OG it was only at 7, and Yakima was lower, and Dave did get kind of like a hopped up red currant rhubarb energy drink sort of thing. And I do the hops they're kind of there. I would just for Yakima hops, I kind of want a little bit more. I kind of want the balance on the hops just to be a little bit more. But it's a little hoppy. So I'm not saying it's not IPA level hoppy by like any means. Like I can barely taste the hops, but I can kind of tell what they're doing to that. But I do get like a monster, like an energy drink with this pink currant, fruity, super lemony finish that's really nice. There's a lot of heavy top, bright notes. It's nicely saturated. Uh, for an energy drink style mix, like this is good. Let's see if there's anything I can actually fusion of beer and my thing's in the way. Energy drink. So, I mean, and I'm in a Hadley, so I don't think that's ruining anything. But a hop infused rhubarb and dragon fruit energy drink is a crazy profile. But yeah, I might just, I don't know, maybe tone that WS23 down quite a bit here.
What? Come
Just,
on.
I feel like it's just pushing the hops down or something.
No, I think it's the fizzy
there is,
sherbet. If
it could be
anything.
the fizzy too, because that's pretty high. But
WS23 at 1 is fine. And anytime you get above 2, it's where it can alter a recipe, in my opinion.
there is
Of
there's
course,
kind of
but
like an earthy hoppiness to it. But
dude, fizzy sherbet at 4 is gonna be like you're getting electrocuted by like a car.
it's very bright. Like there's a lot of like bright lemon in
Yeah.
this. That Pink Panther at 0.6, it's perfect, and it's very nicely mixed with the dragon fruit.
And the
Which,
dragon fruit at 1.5 being I know that flavor very well. 1.5 is pretty high for it.
yeah, and I get a good fruity, and that Pink Panther just makes that good fruity.
1.5, it's
real
very
taste.
people think like dragon fruit sweet, but dragon fruit in Awera as a flavor can be very dominant in the mix, especially early on in the steep. Oh man, it will
Yeah.
dominate a lot.
Green Goblin at 8 is not,
No,
that's a
that's
pretty
normal.
standard. I want it as my main note. Green Goblin, that's it's heavy for that flavor, or it's not heavy for the flavor, but um,
That's a
it's
5 to
not
15
light on the
flavor.
flavor. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know, a little bit hoppier. I mean, I don't pushing that over 2% though. I don't wouldn't playing around with some dangerous territory on that flavoring because 2% on Yakima hops is already quite high. I have other recipes where that makes it a full blown like energy like or IPA, but I don't have fizzy that high, so that might be it. You might be right about that. Either way, regardless, it's a really tasty recipe, really interesting mix, and if you want to give it a shot, I highly would recommend giving it a shot. Yeah.
Speaking of hopping, and it just happened to be up there before you started talking. It's like perfect timing.
Look
Don't
at
play
that.
leapfrog with a unicorn. Yeah. Don't hop over a unicorn playing leapfrog. Just don't do it. It's a bad idea.
What if you miss?
Thank you, Odie, for the
I know those.
ironically amusing backgrounds. And that would be Daniel.
Go.
Daniel.
So you mentioned Alfred pudding. So you said we can't mix old recipes. And I immediately thought of this. And so I'm going to go over it quick. Rain by Alfred Pudding is still one of my favorite. And it uses the hibiscus candy and honeysuckle. So I'll just go over it quick. Innerwear Cactus 0.25. WS 23.5, honeysuckle 3, bilberry ripe 1.75, hibiscus candy at 4, and star fruit at 2.5. He goes over the story, he's trying to, mimic rain. It's an absolute amazing flavor. I'm glad you brought up Alfred pudding. As far as I know, I think he stopped doing everything and, not for negative reasons, just went down to 0% and then stopped, which is awesome. I don't know if that's true, but whatever, good for him. But this recipe has inspired me to do a lot. And so Sam challenged me to do what did you say? Make a recipe around it. One of the florals or whatever.
You did.
So
Did I?
I mixed this late, so I don't have a full steep.
Yeah, I said if you're gonna do one of your recipes, make sure you're challenging yourself around something that we've been playing with. Yeah, I do remember
Yeah.
saying that.
So I've been on
Make it interesting, make it explainable,
yeah,
teachable, a
I've been
teachable.
on a really grape and strawberry kind of binge, I guess you would say. Whatever binge 300 milliliters is. But yeah, so I wanted to do at first I was like, well, I don't know. I wanted to use hibiscus and honeysuckle just because I wanted to showcase those two flavors. I thought, those two flavors I think people should have, even if they don't like florals. So I was trying to fight for that. So I wanted like a grape strawberry. I've only had this 2 days now because I made everyone else's mixes and then I just did this for my own supply to live off. As you can see, I made 120. But I got grape FE at 2, grape juice TPA at 5, grape juice VTA at 3, hibiscus cap at 1.25, honeysuckle at 3.5. I just wanted 4.1. Shisha strawberry Mara at 3, strawberry ripe TPA at 3. So what I wanted to do is have the hibiscus just add a syrupiness, and then I wanted the honeysuckle to bridge the grape and the strawberry. That was like my philosophy behind using these. So the hibiscus was going to add more red, yeah, and then honeysuckle was going to bridge the gap without making that sharp turn because it's not a grape apple where they're both sharp. We're going sharp grape to soft strawberry. So ironically, my mute palate the first day I'm doing this, which was 2 days ago or whatever, I just tasted strawberry. That's it. And I was like, what's going on? Is this life? Like, how am I tasting strawberry over grape? And now it has started to blend more into what it reminds me of is like a grapple, but with strawberry. And I know that sounds weird, but that's what I get from it. And the honeysuckle has bridged, like it's rounded off all the sharp edges, which I wanted it to do and kind of mellow out all the grape. And by the way, this much grape is me getting fed up with not getting enough grape in the X rows. So I said, hey, I'm just gonna put like 6% strawberry and like not what is it, 9? What I can't do 9, no, 10%. Jeez, 10% grape and just say, hey, let's see how it goes. And I really like that mix. Grape juice adds the top note that I've been missing, and then VTA and FE make a really delicious bottom note. And then for shisha strawberry, that's like the base. That's like the dark, natural kind of almost dried strawberry that everyone talks about. And then strawberry ripe is the top note. And so it kind of just all works for my palate at least.
Why VTA over Flavor West?
Why VTA over Flavor West?
Grape juice.
Kind of depressing. I just want to get rid of it so I'd never think of it again. Because RIP. So I have like a 15 milliliter.
I don't remember if I have it or not, and if it's
It is
it
so
a
good.
Okay.
Let's not talk about it. Don't.
Right.
It's like Welch's grape juice, I would say, but like not 100% like accurate. Kind of like that's what they were attempting, but it's like an off-brand. It's really good. Its body is not too thin. It's not like Kim the Vatic thin. It has a little bit more of a syrupy kind of body to it. It is really good. I can see above this percentage or maybe even at this percentage getting a couple off notes, but I enjoy it. But that's why I picked it. I'll never be able to get it again. So I just want to get it out of my head like a really bad ex-girlfriend, or something.
You made me laugh so hard with this recipe, Daniel, and you
Why?
don't understand why. I'm on every Wednesday on with Liam, and Liam gets diesel off grape juices. And I'm like, this is ultra diesel right here for Liam. The ultra diesel. I laugh my ass off. Because that's all I could think of when I saw that pop up on ELR.
That sounds really good. I want some ultra diesel.
Ultra diesel, yeah. It's like he can power his car for months.
That sounds like a strain.
It does actually. It sounds like a good strain.
But it probably is an ultra diesel strain.
Fun fact, I know no one cares, but maybe someone does. TPA grape juice was my first like successful mix. Or mix that I won't say successful. I'm gonna say mix that I like because that was my success, and that was one of them. And I messed up on it. I think I used like 11%. Something crazy. That flavor can go ridiculous, and I don't get the off notes that people talk about from it above 6% or 5%. Get no off notes ever. No green, nothing. But yeah,
Cool.
thanks for the challenge. I'm enjoying it.
You're welcome. I think I'm pretty sure I have the vape train grape juice. I'll have to double check, but if I do, I'm gonna mix that up. I know I
It
have
was
the
a
rest.
good week. All the mixes, like every day, I went through all the mix and I had no issue, and it was a good week. And now I got mine like top to bottom.
Yeah, I always love recipe weeks because now I have a lot of. I don't have to mix for another 2 weeks probably.
Yeah, I got a couple left. I did finish the
I did 30s
two
as
with
well.
them,
I'm
I
only
think.
like, I think one of them I'm halfway through. Not even. Yeah. Anyways, all right, Linda, what you got?
I think I have 2 more left.
Go for it. I have.
Let's see.
Yeah, we're on round 4 right now, and I'm on. This is my last one, but
All right.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
out.
Hang on 1 second. Okay. Party Mansion by some guy named I Am Sam.
Lame.
love that
Here's
thing.
your dang light lemon. No, I mix this because this has lemon pound cake, which is I gave a
Mid.
10. And this literally is what I was saying, that you can use it as your main cake with an accent cake. You don't need to add another lemon. So it's got Flavora frosting at 1, Flavor West sweetener at 1, 101 cake yellow at 2, SSA lemon pound cake at 3, perfect. Wonder Flavors buttercream frosting at a half, and Wonder Flavors buttermilk at a half. This is exactly what I was saying on pound cake week. Main cake, you can use an accent cake, the frosting and the 2 frostings as a glaze gave a little creaminess, the buttermilk with that creaminess. And yeah, this was so good. And he mentioned it, and I think we both gave lemon pound cake a 10. And this is what I was saying, you can literally make an awesome, the lemon is perfect in it without adding it. I think I even said it, like, you don't need to add another lemon for the lemon to stand out. And this is perfect. I the 101 yellow cake accents the lemon pound cake pretty well, but like, I literally think you could leave that yellow cake out and just have the lemon pound cake, and it would have been just as good. But yeah, so and it's just so funny because when he said, oh, look at it, give it a mix, I'm like, this is exactly what I was saying about that flavor, that it's strong enough to be your main cake. So yeah, you made this for somebody, right?
Yeah, they just wanted a
Yeah.
light pound cake or whatever, and I was like, and he was like, and I'll buy flavors or whatever, and I was like, cool, I just got this, so let me single flavor test it real quick, and I very rarely do that.
Yeah.
I do a lot of my single flavor testing for the show, so I was fuck it, why not? And I mixed it up, shake and baked it, and I was like, oh, okay, and I say, yeah, if you want more lemon, you can add more lemon for sure.
Yep.
Pick
Yep.
your favorite bakery lemon and throw it in there or whatever, but just I kind of just built it out, and I mean, I did add another yellow cake. I think Flavor West yellow cake at like 1 would probably be good. I did my
Yep.
my choice frosting combo, and then I like putting buttermilk in cakes. It adds
Yeah.
moisture and just that little bit of a twang that you get from like a buttermilk cake or something baked with yogurt or something. I don't know. It adds a nice little nuance, I
Yep.
found, to
It
cake
definitely
recipes.
it definitely made it moist, and with the
Yeah.
frosting and like the buttercream frosting and the flavor frosting for like that little bit of glaze. Yeah, this came
Yeah,
out.
if you
Now
can't, oh, I appreciate that. Thank you, Linda. Yeah,
yeah,
if you
no, it
haven't
was.
figured out a use for buttermilk, throw it in a cake recipe. That's a really
Yeah,
good.
I've never
0.5%.
tried that. So, yeah, it was literally what I said on that show was, this is what you can do with it, and very easily make a really nice recipe, a nice tasting recipe. It's saturated. it's got that lemon pound cake. Well, we all know how I feel about that. So
Yeah,
yeah,
same.
that was really,
Yeah.
yeah, it was perfect for me to mix because it literally reiterated what I said on, on that episode.
And you
So
could definitely take that down a lot simpler. You could do the SSA plus the Wonder Flavors buttercream and maybe even just call that good, so it's really just about how much do you want,
to build it out, you
to
could
build it
even,
out, I guess. So
yeah, I think you could even get away with not using the Wonder Flavors buttercream frosting and just use the
the
frosting by
like the glaze.
Flavora, add a little lemon, not add a little lemon. I think it works both ways if you wanted to add just a little bit of a boost of lemon, but I think that right there was a perfect amount of lemon for me. It mellow, saturated, moist, like not dry, Yeah, that was really good. I'm glad you mentioned it. And it's just so funny how that's pretty much exactly what I said for that flavor, So
Right.
yeah.
Everybody gets another look. Does it look like Wayne? The comment was made. Vote.
That yes. So
No.
X1, yes. X2,
way
no. I like that
No.
Stephen Lane towed the line right dead middle. He doesn't dare
Go to
upset
DX
anyone.
canceled.
Yeah.
X2 for no.
That's funny. Well, thank
But-
you, Linda. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Tim,
All right, Tim.
next.
All right. So these last couple are semi cheats because they were in the house already and I didn't have to mix them. But this one was weird and inspired by our episode, which is even weirder because we went over these florals and she went with it. So springtime lemonade. She made this with blackberry blossom flavora at 0.25, boysenberry flavora at 1.5, wooded sand citron 0.5, cherry blossom flavora at 1, guava dark berry flavora at 1.5, lemon juicy flavor jungle at 1.5, lemonade VSO 3.5, red, white, and blue popsicle blast from flavora at 2.5, super sweet pearl at 1, and tart blast flavora at 0.5. I'm vaping that right now. I'm actually really enjoying this. It's got like this nice present floral, but not like overwhelmingly subtle. It's a subtle presence of floral with just a nice lemony background, and you got this fruitiness here, this berry fruitiness. It's kind of the berry fruitiness is kind of indistinct. The boysenberry blackberry blossom thing and the cherry are kind of giving it an indistinct fruit background. But this is quite tasty. I'm actually liking this more than I expected to. Yeah. But yeah, this is actually, like I said, it's kind of a cheat, but she did go over this because of our episode, and I was surprised she doesn't usually do florals. So this really like amazed me that she did it and did it well. And that blackberry blossom is quite tasty in this, and it is showing up as a floral, and the cherry blossom, the two florals, they're showing up. They're there, but they're that subtle just addition to it, to like a lemonade. It makes it just taste more summertimey to me. I was surprised. Oh, we got a lot of X2s though. Apparently not everybody thinks that, Wayne. Why did Wayne vote X1? All right, Sam, go ahead.
All right, this is my last one of the night. I also saw this recipe and was immediately like, okay, I gotta make this. This is Blood Panther champagne. So it's orange champagne with bright red berries, by Joe Roots. Good old Joe Roots. It was the Moscato that sold this one for me. So Flavora Moscato 0.75, Flavor West Blood Orange 1.5, Anywhere Pink Panther 0.75. This one's got 0.1 WS23. I probably hit 0.2-ish or something on accident, but Vape Train Blood Orange Champagne 2.5, Vape Train Sour Lemon at 0.75. So this one is very nice. That Pink Panther, man, it really does poke out in a mix. I really like it. It's this one you get a little bit of a grapey, winey note going on in there, and then the blood orange, the main citrus note is more of a blood orange than the other one, which was a lemon. The sour lemon here is really kind of just pushing those notes up. So it's not super lemony, but I get a really nice bright red currant, pink currant, blood orange kind of white, not white grapey. It definitely isn't doing the white grape thing in this recipe. I wonder if that's because of the Pink Panther. It's definitely kind of pulling it more like into a grapey situation than like a white wine, white grape area. So very interesting application of this flavoring. I'm not getting like alcohol. There's not a ton of like winey notes from either of these. So it's um but it's adding nuance. This is a really nice blood orange flavoring. It's actually really soft blood orange flavoring. It's a really nice champagne flavoring though. So I guess the body of that champagne and the Moscato probably are working their way in there. What does he
Nice.
say? Depth to the champagne. Yeah, flavor wise, adding that to the vape train is a good idea because the blood orange isn't. You're getting. You really want the blood orange to come out. Sour lemon lifts it. Um. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if it's a black currant Pink Panther more than it is like a pink currant because it is that really nice pink, bright red currant flavoring. Sweet as hell, very candied almost. Yeah, it's a really good mix. Yeah, just a smidge of WS-23 just to kind of push it a little bit in that direction. So yeah, give this one a shot again as well if you're into that sort of thing. I wouldn't shy away from it. It's very tasty. You're out, Daniel.
My ale.
Linda's
You're
got
out.
number 5,
I
I
got
have
one more.
one more.
and
Yeah.
Tim's got number 5. Go ahead, you guys.
Okay.
Run it. Dun, 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 dun. Oh
Let's
my God.
see. Okay. So this is Whipped Maple by Nevins. Cotton candy flavora at 4%, maple syrup SSA at 1.25, sugar pie, Wonder Flavors at 1.75, super sweet cap at 2%, and whipped cream SSA at 6%. I saw this and I was like, "Oh, I gotta make this." So number one, I didn't get any chemical off notes on that cotton candy, which I have gotten in my own mixes at 2 or 2.5. No chemical off notes from that. The maple syrup and the sugar pie just went lovely together. That sugar pie is kind of like I always thought it was going to be like the pecan pie filling without the pecans. But really it's like a brown sugar custard type thing. Those two just went amazing together. And the whipped cream SSA at 6, well, I've never tried that. Higher than like 2. And I know he's made other recipes that have been insanely high
14.
with yeah.
Yeah.
So this was basically like a caramelly brown sugar maple, not cotton candy, but between I think the cotton candy and the whipped cream just gave it this terrific mouthfeel. Just different. I vaped the whole 20 mils in like no time at all because it was just real. It's almost like addicting. It was really sweet with the cotton candy and the super sweet at 2. And I almost didn't do it at 2. I almost did it at 1, but I'm like, I gotta see how this works out. Really good, sweet, thick mouthfeel type. The whipped cream, like honestly, I don't know at 6%. I don't think you need 6% whipped cream SSA. I just don't. I think
Oh, that's Nevins. He usually pushes it high.
yeah,
It's to
I
give
know,
it that
yeah.
thickness to it.
Yeah, it does give it a nice thickness, and I think it goes well with the cotton candy. And I also think it tamed down that chemical note from
See, I almost
our
mixed
cotton
this up
candy.
100%
too because
guarantee you it's
Nevin-
taming down that
yeah,
cotton.
Nevins likes this cotton candy based
Yeah.
stuff, and I can't do cotton candy.
It's
Is not
not-
tasting
Well,
the
yeah,
burnt
he-
sugar.
that's
to
a-
me.
thing
I
is,
taste burnt
it's-
sugar. I'm sensitive to it though.
It's not a cotton candy like you would think. And I even had
No.
my daughter taste it. I'm like, because she wants a cotton candy vape. And I'm like, well, try this. And she's like, no, it kind of
Exactly,
just tastes like
Steve-O.
maple syrup. But she doesn't get like the mouthfeel or like how thick or, because she's still doing commercial.
Definitely an older Nevins trick to use cotton candy flavora specifically to boost your burnt sugar notes in
Yeah. Yeah.
So that
Tons
would
of
be,
but for
caramels,
me,
the maple,
it doesn't
the
work
sugar
for me,
pie, the
though.
brown
Yeah.
sugar, the maple
Yeah.
syrup. You know, he's boosting those burnt sugar caramel
okay.
notes.
Oh,
with
like
the
I do
cut.
with
The
my
ones from the
cherry
maple syrup, because
cola.
that maple syrup
Yeah.
has it, the sugar pie has it.
So that's
Oh
the
my
other,
God.
Would be boosting
Those
it.
two, the
the
maple
other
syrup
trick.
and the sugar pie were like, so good.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I said, again, the whipped cream, like it gave it a really nice full mouthfeel. I don't know about thick, but it filled it out. Like it wasn't,
But like
it
Steve
wasn't,
says, wasn't 14%. He has done that. So
yeah.
Yeah.
He did the blue raspberry, right? I
Yep.
remember. It didn't necessarily give it like a real dense, but it gave it like it was full. You know what I mean? It was a full maple caramelly type vape.
See, I almost
Interesting.
made this, but like I said, I knew that for me, I have that I'm sensitive to the cotton candies, all of them. I get like a really burnt sugar cotton candy note, and I can't take it out of my mind. I taste it.
Yeah.
And for me, it wouldn't work. But I was tempted to mix this without the cotton candy and see how it worked for me, because this does look good. I saw this on Wednesday's show. It looked really good.
Yeah, it was good. Like I said, I vaped the whole thing. It was interesting. I honestly don't think that whipped cream needs to be at 6, but whatever. That's just me. It was good though. And like you guys said, he does
Yes,
push it
he does.
high. So, I think even
Maple
at 2,
syrup.
it would have been good 2 or 3. But anyway, yeah, it was really good.
Go ahead, Sam.
All right. Well, let me
Tim?
change the last one. So
Samantha's turn.
there we go. So I've got another one by lady, because these were in the house and she had them, and I didn't even know she did this one. She goes, "Do you want to try this one?" Oh, okay. So she made a boozy blueberry muffin. BCF, single flavor, single source. Do you know what that is? They've been talking about it in code all night. So blueberry jam Wonder Flavors at 2%, blueberry muffin Flavora at 3. Blueberry muffin from Wonder Flavors at 3, because one has more blueberry, one has more muffin. Makes sense. Bourbon aged cream from Wonder Flavors at 1.25. Buttercream from Cap at 1.5. Caramel Flavora at 0.5. Kentucky Bourbon TPA at 1. Madagascar Bourbon Vanilla TPA at 1.2. Smoked Butterscotch Flavora at 1. Super Sweet Perlum at 1. And Vanilla Ice Cream from Wonder Flavors at 2. If you didn't realize it, the reason I saved this for last was for several reasons. One, there are a lot of flavors in there from the last month. It was definitely, I have a feeling there's some inspiration from these shows we just went over, because that is, let's see, we got the bourbon creams, we got
aged
the
cream,
Kentucky bourbon, you got smoked butterscotch. I mean, this is loaded with the flavors we went over this past month, and it's quite tasty. It's been steeping since the 26th, and it's actually pretty good. Just got a nice picture there, but this is good, but it fit everything perfectly. It's like, yeah, this has got to be last.
I think
it's
I-
literally got so much.
that looks really good. I would say though, stick with the for me, the blueberry muffins, the Wonder flavor, they're both lacking on the muffin. The Wonder Flavors has more of a vanilla note to it.
Right. You get more of the blueberry
Which I
base
guess
from
like
that.
it's not really like cakey though. It's more of like just blueberries and vanilla. But they're both kind of just like blueberry-y. So I don't know. I mean, I would just probably pick one of those. But other than that, God, I don't even know. That looks very interesting.
They're actually quite tasty. I'm vaping it right now. It's
No,
actually,
I don't doubt that at all. Yeah. I mean, you might need both those.
I mean, I think it's still,
also.
even though it was just made recently and it still has that taste, this could use more of a steep. That blueberry jam always needs more of a steep, but I know it well enough to know what it tastes like before it's steep. So I know it's
right.
going to settle down. It's got that little bit of that,
I mean,
slight
honestly,
astringentness that blueberry jam gives you.
You don't want to push Flavora higher than 3 either. And if you need another blueberry, then that's a good call. Adding the Wonder Flavors in there, you know what I mean? Like with all those other creams.
And that Kentucky bourbon's just there, just giving it a little bit of
brown
push.
sugar, lots of I mean, that looks really good. Very creamy.
Yeah, that was tasty. I don't want to give her too much credit. It'll go to her head, but still, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, constructive criticism. I wasn't hating. I was just thinking just off the top of my head in there. For me, it's usually like, am I leaning into like a vanilla note with a cake or something like that? Then I'll go Wonder Flavors. If I'm not necessarily, then
I haven't seen a recent recipe with as many flavors that fit this profile for us for today for these
Like
past
4
4
of 'em?
weeks. And
Yeah.
there's 4 of them in there. That was pretty
Go
impressive.
figure. It was from late. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
And I didn't
well,
even know she made it. This one, I didn't know she made it until last
just
minute.
you're like searching for recipes. You're like, oh, hey, look at that.
She
She
goes,
said,
I got
"Shut
one
up."
here. Try this.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
yeah. I'm sure that's like a super nice rich cream with the buttercream and the Luca Barn in there. That's what they're wondering.
I'm getting the graininess from the like the textureness from like the muffiny part, which is weird because usually I don't get that. I don't know what else would be
Yeah.
pushing that.
Yeah, I get a lot of like the only one I really get that from is
I don't
Epic.
usually get that from them. Maybe with them combined, it worked. I don't know. Because I am getting more of like the muffin than I usually get from either one of those. Maybe that's it. Or something else in there's adding to it. I'm not sure.
It could be. Most of it's creams though, and like caramels and bourbon. So who
And the
knows?
blueberries.
Yeah. Right. All right. Thank you everybody for joining us on our fun little break recipe week. Daniel's not here, but he'll be back. Next week we are going over RY4 flavorings. I need to get those going. We have a lot of RY4 flavorings.
How many do I
I
got?
believe we're just doing. Are we doing just RYs? Like
Yeah.
as many RYs as we can do, like because there's not that many RY8s, and RY double is obviously RY8, and we're gonna do those. So right, and so it's
Just RY4s. I got
RY4.
yeah
There might be an RY2. There might be some RY8s,
doubles, carabines,
doubles,
yeah.
castles, the whatever's
The
The
quads.
for
We're gonna do
you.
the quads. Yeah.
In the cap.
the 4Us,
whatever it was.
And the 4Us, yeah.
blends and the double number one, the ultimates and whatever.
I got 15.
Yeah, I got a lot. I haven't even pulled them all out yet, so I should probably mix those tomorrow. Well, RY4, and then what's anybody know what the week after that is?
Oh, I just closed it.
I have it mixed too, and I don't even remember what I mixed.
It's RY4 peanuts, meringue,
Peanuts,
white
that's it, yep.
chocolate, fruity
Peanuts. That'll be
cheesecake,
fun.
new releases, mixed and miscellaneous nuts, oddball berries, marzipan, nougat, gin, black licorice, recipe
Tune
8,
in for
chocolate cake,
peanuts because it's
ginger,
gonna be
vanilla ice
nuts. I'm
cream,
telling you.
keeps going.
Stupid.
But
Can we give
the
a-
next
can
one
we,
is peanuts.
All right, let's pick some commenters real quick.
Oh no, it's lemon berries bakery.
I get it. We got stuff to do. All right, everybody. Hopefully, we're headed over and commented on the Reddit thread. The new one, by the way, dropped. So if you want to get picked next week,
Wait, what's that?
comment.
What's that saying? Little thing inside for you?
What, the cartoon?
Nothing. Oh God. I like that.
This is Flavora's
I like
top
that a
comment
lot.
of the week.
All right, let's see who gets this. Yeah.
Make sure you
and who?
check your Reddit for
Stunning
your
juice.
chats. Love the episode. Can't
Someone
wait to order my
new.
files. Stunning Juice 4485. Congrats. Check your Reddit. Check your chats. Make sure you're checking that somebody gets a hold of you by the end of the week. I'm gonna put that.
Yeah,
out
even if you won
by the end of the
check
week. sometimes
anyways
I'm-
again, because you might win more than 1 week in a row. It happens.
and don't
Someone
rush
knows
me.
what I'm talking
I get busy. Oh,
Mook has been in 2 of the last ones.
Yay.
oh,
Oh,
good. It's a new Auroric. Congrats.
Another new one.
Another top commenter of the week.
coconut ice cream. That was an interesting comment.
Then thank you again, Rocky, for picking another third commenter of the week.
And
So
let's
head on over
see.
to the new Reddit, which will be for tonight's episode for your chance. next
No
week.
joke. Mukai's been the last 2 and lost all 3 times.
Modfather.
That's okay. He
Modfather.
won like
Congrats.
twice last month. So Modfather, 3 new winners again. Very awesome to see that. Congrats to all the commenters of the week.
Yeah, congrats.
Pay attention to your Reddits. That's all I have to say. And thank you
Yep.
to those other people that are involved in that. And thank you, Odie Dudon. Thank you.
And
Winnie.
thank you, Odie, for the really weird backgrounds. So someone lined up perfectly on accident. Completely. I had no idea. I just put them up and then 2 of them
Yeah,
with
that
you,
was
Sam,
great.
worked perfectly.
That was really good.
Do
Yeah.
you think we should?
Got anything else? I don't know.
I
Have
got
a good-
some. Do you
What?
think we should go over Soho next week?
Pro- I guess we'll talk
Because
about that.
like, you know what I mean? Like, is it not like somewhat of an RY4? Like that's the
There's a
closest
few.
thing.
Yeah, is it not on the?
Yeah, but then there's like so many more that are
That's
kind
what
of
I
like
mean.
that.
Yeah, then we got to
Yeah,
really
if you,
open
you
the
hit that
floodgates.
line, then it's like
All right, I got
explodes.
that
We
logic.
might as well
but-
just have like a intro dessert tobacco episode.
But hold on.
and
Hold
not
on. Well,
include-
I guess we could do that, but what I'm saying is like, yeah, there's not many. We could deep dive that, but there's not many Sohos. You know what I mean? Soho is
There's still quite a-
probably
yeah.
the only
I mean,
one that you should get. Like if
And
you're
we should bring
doing
it up before the last week, though,
those
so I can
odd
get 'em
ones.
steeped. I like steep these for at least a week or two.
Bring it up in chat. We'll talk about it all there. We'll see you
Thank
guys
you for
next week. Have a
watching.
wonderful night.
Yep.
Good
Bye.
night,
Great
y'all.
week.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
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 Horizon, can you hear me now, Wayne?